Hey guys, Chauncey Phillips here on that brand new DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shop fair today. They're gonna go out today, see things came out, see things are on sale today. Today though, the big thing that releases is Dr. Sleep. And with that one, I know Best Buy has an exclusive steelbook of that one. I don't believe there's any other exclusives of that. Also though, the film Playing with Fire, that releases today, as well as Last Christmas and The Good Liar. And also though, one thing that's really exciting is the horror film which me and Danny the Cinestalker are in, called Restricted Area. That one releases today, and that will be available in all Walmarts, so definitely look forward to, if you guys get a chance to pick that one up, like, hearing what you guys think of that one. But definitely going to be heading to Walmart, and hopefully they have that one put out, and I don't have to go to like a whole bunch of different locations or anything, but really excited about that one. Like I said, it's called Restricted Area, and I'll be showing it too in the store and everything. Also though, at the end of this video is going to be a whole bunch of brand new DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K reviews for some things I received to review and talk about for you guys, so definitely stay tuned for those. And as always too, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks that are reviewed, if you guys have seen them, what you guys thought of them, also if you guys plan on picking any of them up. But anyway though guys, let's get going and see what we can find today. Into Target we go. And if you guys haven't got a chance to, check out the link below and you guys can find out about the upcoming horror film Strix, which I'm going to be acting in. On there though, they have some new perks on there. They just added up a perk where you guys can have, in the movie they're going to have these missing posters up. So there's a perk where you guys can get your face on one of the missing posters. They also have up there a pop figure of Billy Blair's character from the film, a really limited pop, that's on there as well. There's also on sale as well, the perk on there is on sale as well to act in the film with me if you guys are interested in that as well. And the movie's shooting in Dallas, Texas in April, so definitely check out the link below and you guys can find out more about the film. But over here though on the front they have Dr. Sleep here on 4K, and that one is $27.99 for that one. I'm also going to be talking about the 4K of this at the end of this video, but this is one, if you guys have not seen this movie, I would highly recommend you guys check this one out. Absolutely love this one. Like I said, it's $27.99 for the 4K, and then the DVD is $17.99 for the DVD edition, and then the Blu-ray edition is $19.99. Also, like I was saying, Playing with Fire, that was one of the other ones that released today, and that one's $22.99 for the Blu-ray DVD combo. This was actually a fun movie. I thought like my favorite character in here was John Leguizamo. Like he had like some of these really ridiculous lines in here. It was basically though about like these firefighters, and they ended up, the fire jumpers that rescued these kids that whose house was on fire, and then like their parents were out of town and they had to get back because they were staying in this cabin by themselves. So it's like they're staying at the firehouse, causing all kind of mischief and messing around and everything. Other than that, though, this movie with Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen came out called The Good Liar. This is one I don't know too much about. This one, if you guys have seen this one, let me know how this one was. And that one is $19.99 for the Blu-ray and then $17.99 for the DVD. Other than that though, I don't see anything else different here in the front, but I'll head over to the actual section though to see if there's anything different in this section. But over there though in the actual section though, they had Last Christmas on Blu-ray there for $24.99. Also they had the new Bruce Willis film Trauma Center for $14.99 for that one, as well as they had something I hadn't heard of called Kevin Hart's Guide to Black History for $9.99, and I had never heard of that one. So if you guys have seen that, let me know how that one was. The only other thing I saw over there that was new was the film Arctic Dogs. But other than that, that was all the new things that I saw in the actual section. Into Walmart we go. And I see down there though, those guys doing the petitions and stuff. So I'm definitely not going in because like last time they were like bombarding me. So yeah, I see them down there. So I'm definitely going in the back entrance here to avoid that. I'm gonna have to like leave this back entrance as well, because last time they bombarded me like 2 different times. Those people with all those petitions and everything, but fingers crossed in here they have the stuff out. But also in here today, since it's the first Tuesday of the month, Walmart changes out the actual section and gets in a whole bunch of new like indie horror films and a whole bunch of stuff. So there should be a whole bunch of new things in here today. But like I said, the one thing I'm really excited about is them having Restricted Area in here. But like I said, hopefully all this stuff's put out in the shelves though, but we shall see. Well, I peeked over in the actual section. It didn't look like they changed out anything over there. Like from what I could tell, they didn't look like anything new. They did put the new stuff out in the front though. Like I was saying, Dr. Sleep, that one here is $27.96 for the 4K, $19.99 for the Blu-ray, and then $17.96 for the DVD. There's also this like two-movie collection here, which is only at Walmart, which has, you know, Dr. Sleep and The Shining here on DVD. Doesn't look like they have a Blu-ray edition of that one. They also have this thing here for the 4K release of Midway, where it's like you get Hacksaw Ridge on the actual disc, and then you get like a voodoo code for Midway, and that one is a $22.96 for that. Also, though, Arctic Dogs, that released today, and that one is a $17.96 for the DVD Blu-ray combo, and then $14.96 for the DVD. And then Playing with Fire, that one's cheaper than it was over at Target. That one's a $19.96 for that one for the Blu-ray, and then $17.96 for the DVD. Also, though, The Good Liar, that one's a $19.96 for the Blu-ray, $17.96 for the DVD. And then this one, which I talked about last week, called Grand Isle, which stars Nicolas Cage. I thought this was actually kind of an interesting movie. It was like this guy was like helping Nicolas Cage's character fix this fence, and it was like in the middle of a storm that was about to happen, and the guy ended up like trapped in the house. And in the very beginning of the movie, you found out like something had happened because the guy was all like covered with blood, like talking to like this a cop played by Kelsey Grammer's character. So you're kind of coming to find out like what exactly was going on, you know. And they do have Last Christmas here. That one is that's a little less money too than it was at Target. I think that was $24.99 at Target. It's $22.96 here. And this is another one. I really like this movie. This kind of like went under the radar. It's directed by Paul Feig, who did like Bridesmaids and things, and I don't know, I actually really like this one. Other than that here, I don't see anything else new. But like I was saying though, the actual section, there should be a whole ton of new stuff. And which is a pain too, is when you look up online, a lot of times it shows the stuff like as in store, but like all this stuff here, it's all from the past, like a couple weeks. Like this stuff, all this stuff down here, like the Mermaid, Trespassers, Psychos Pass, these were all ones from last month when they changed out the titles. So like I don't see anything new, and all these other ones were last week, like Harriet was last week, Dead Earth was last week. And like around here too, sometimes they put some of the stuff here as well, but it seems to be all the same thing. So hopefully I don't have to go to tons and tons of Walmarts today, but I will, because I want to see all the new things that came out today, especially too to see Restricted Area in here, which I'm really excited about. So hopefully the next one has it out, because I'm not seeing anything else new mixed in here. The one location though that I used to go to like a year or two back, used to always have the stuff out. So hopefully that one has it. But like I said, I'll go to a number of different ones to try and see all the stuff, but we shall see though. Into the second Walmart we go. But hopefully this location put out all the new movies and everything, so fingers crossed, we shall see. This one usually has done okay, but sometimes it's either all the stuff's out or nothing whatsoever at all has been changed. Not even the new, like the bigger new titles, so we'll see. Well, I'm in here though, and I see some boxes still here, and I see like the spot for where Restricted Area would be. So it's right here. It says Restricted Area $9.96, but of course, like that's like one of the things that's not out, like that, Crawlspace. But some of the new things here that came out was the movie Waves, and that one's a $14.96 for the Blu-ray, and then $14.96 for the DVD as well, so it's the same price for the Blu-ray or the DVD. This one might have come out today, this one, Revolution 1917. I believe this may have been today. That one's $9.96, as well as the Bruce Willis film Trauma Center. That one's $14.96 for the Blu-ray, $12.96 for the DVD. Also this one here called Mon Monsters, that released today, and that's $9.96 for that one. And then Nightingale, this one I really like this movie. This one is one I would highly recommend you guys check out. It's a hard to watch film, but it's a really well-made revenge film, but really love this one. This is one, like I said, I would highly recommend you guys check this one out. They also, this one released today, Ouija Room, that one's $9.96. Like I said, it's a pain though that these ones here on out. So we're probably gonna have to head to another location. But other than that though, I do see a couple other things that were today though, like Rabid, which was the remake of the David Cronenberg film, directed by Jen and Sylvia Solska, the Solska sisters. This is another one. I really like this one. I think this is one of the better remakes. And they like changed some things around in it and gave it like a different vibe. And I really liked it. It's definitely my favorite of their movies, next to American Mary. Other than that though, I think this may have been today. I'm not 100% sure. I believe so. And like I was saying, I believe this one was today too, the Unkindess of Ravens. I think I was calling it Rays or something. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else new here. So we're probably going to go to another Walmart until I can see everything out, especially I really want to see the restricted area in stores. But this one was today, Vlad the Impaler, and that one's $12.96 for the Blu-ray, and then $9.96 for the DVD of that one, as well as a Dragonheart Vengeance, the new Dragonheart film. That's $14.96 for the Blu-ray, $12.96 for the DVD, and there's a 5-movie collection here of this as well. And for some reason, as a kid, I used to always mix this movie up, the first movie, with the movie that Full Moon made, like under the Moonbeam title. I don't know why, I was always like mixing them up as a kid. Other than that, though, this one here was I believe was today. This one, the Movie Kingdom, I believe this one was today, as well as they have this Kevin Hart one here too, Kevin Hart's Guide to Black History as well. Like I was saying, if you guys have seen this, let me know what this one was. I don't know anything about this, if this is like a show or what this exactly was, or where it aired or anything like that. But other than that, though, this anime I believe was today. That time I got Reincarnated as a slime. I believe that one is today, and that's $39.96 for that. Let me just see if there's anything else new here. I don't think I see anything else different here other than that. Like I said, this could be like in here, because like some of these things, I mean, it's like a possibility, but it doesn't look like it. This looks like it's kind of older things, and that said like the 21st. So yeah, I definitely don't see like any of them in these boxes as far as I can tell. So I'll probably have to head over to another one. So I'm like, you know, determined to find it in person. Other than that, in here though on the front, it doesn't look like I see anything else different though. Into the third Walmart we go. But hopefully this location has it. This one has sometimes been really hit or miss. Like there's been times when I've come in here and this one like didn't put out anything new whatsoever. So another one of these fingers crossed. We've been crossing fingers a lot today. I think today's gonna be like the day of Walmarts, but hopefully we can find it and see it in stores. Well, the same situation. They have all the other stuff, but like this whole line of all these ones here are empty. So restricted area in this one, empty as well. But you know, and like I said, I really want to see it in stores though. It's just weird though, how like these ones, all of the ones don't have them. But I have like 1 or 2 other options of ones to go to, because I really would like to see it in person. But man, what a pain. It's like right there, but not out. Into the fourth Walmart we go. Well, in here they actually have restricted area, and it's $9.96 here. So glad I finally found one of the locations that have it. They're playing music in here, so I have to talk quick. But they do also have Girl in the Crawlspace, Pagan Warrior, and this 3-pack here, with a Night Owl 3-pack here for $9.96, as well as this movie here, Stalked. I didn't see this one in the other location, but so glad to find restricted area in here. And what's so cool is my name is right here in the front, Sean C. Phillips. So really so excited to find this one in here. Yeah, I have to like kind of talk over all the music in here. They're playing lots of like really loud music in here. But like I was saying though, so glad to find this in stores to show you guys. And in the movie though, me and Danny Sinnerstalker are both in the film. So you guys can see us in the opening 10 minutes of the film of us like in here, like really, really excited about this one. So guys, definitely head to Walmart and you guys can pick this one up for $9.99. But so excited, so glad to find it in person. And this past weekend, the only movie that I saw in theaters was Gretel and Hansel, which is directed by Oz Perkins, who also directed the movie Blackcoat's Daughter, which I think was also called February in some other countries, which starred Emma Roberts. I actually really love that movie. But Gretel and Hansel, which is, you know, stars Sophia Lillis, who is, you know, plays Beverly Marsh, you know, young Beverly Marsh in the It films, the new It films. I actually really love this movie. It has like really mixed reviews, and I don't really understand why. It's like a darker take on Hansel and Gretel. And like I always loved, like as a kid, the Hansel and Gretel like canon fairy tales movie. I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but I think I used to rent that in Blockbuster as a little kid so many times. Like, and I usually loved that song in there, like raise your hands and clap, 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 point your toes and tap, tap, tap. I don't know if any of you guys remember that, but I watched that movie so many times. I also watched though the Shelley Duvall's Fairy Tale Theater, Hansel and Gretel as well, which I really liked. But you know, those were like more of a kids versions of this. This is a much darker version of Hansel and Gretel, and it isn't like with the candy house and stuff. It's the same concept, but it's like a really dark take. I also love the music. The composer is the same composer. His name is Rob, who did the music in the Maniac remake and a number of other movies. And I've always really liked his stuff. It's like synth score, mixed with some modern stuff as well, but it has like a throwback synth vibe to it. But this one is basically, though, about the character of Hansel and Gretel, and you know, their mother, you know, basically can't take care of them anymore, and said they have to leave and like go and like find their own way and like find someone to work for and stuff, because she doesn't have any money. So they end up both wandering out into the woods and trying to get to this one family that they think they can work for. But along the way, they end up coming across this house, which is of course the witch. And in this one, it's like an all black house. It's like this really creepy looking house. And of course they go in there and you come to find out what's going on. If you guys know the story, you know what's happening. But I absolutely loved it. It was also so well shot. Like the cinematography was absolutely amazing. There were some of these shots that were like, especially some of the stuff at the end, which was like amazing. Like it's one of those movies, like don't listen to the reviews of it. It was so good. Like honestly, like it was like one of like really memorable, like the way everything went, and like I said, especially the music and everything. And it was also very creepy. It just had this real creepy aspect to the whole thing. But if you guys got to see Gretel and Hansel, though, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it, or what you guys saw this past weekend, if you guys got to see anything. Into Best Buy we go. But right here, though, on the front, I see Arctic Dogs here for $16.99 on Blu-ray, as well as Last Christmas here is $22.99. And they have this one here as well, this one called The Kingdom, the Movie, and that one's $19.99. But this is really cool, and I heard something about this coming out, but I didn't see it. I think it might have been last week, or maybe I was wrong, but I didn't see this one, this Black Panther brand new 4K Steelbook. So that's really cool. This one is $34.99 for that one here. But I'll look here on the other side, though, and see if they have, yes, they have Dr. Sleep, but the Steelbook, none of the Steelbooks here, so I'll have to look in the actual section. But it's $27.99 for the 4K and $19.99 for the DVD. I mean, the $19.99 for the Blu-ray. But like I said, though, I'll have to check the section to see if they have the the Steelbook still. Yeah, but over here, though, I don't see any spots here for the Dr. Sleep Steelbook. I had a feeling, though, that those runs were going to go quick. They still have, though, some of the Terminator Dark Fate Steelbooks that were from last week. That one's $34.99. But they also have that Grand Isle film here, and that one is $14.99 for that one. Trauma Center, that one is $14.99 as well. Waves here is $14.99. The new Dragonheart film is $17.99 here. Like, I have not really seen many of the sequels of these ones. If you guys have seen this one, though, the newest Dragonheart film, let me know, though, how that one is. Like I said, I have not seen some of the other ones, though. I think I only saw like the first two. Other than that, though, I don't see anything else new here, though. But it was cool seeing that Black Panther Steelbook, because I think it might have been last week, or I may be wrong, but I know I didn't see it, though. And they actually have a horror Valentine's Day standee here. It's Be My Bloody Valentine. They have stuff here like Cult of Chucky here for $11.99. And which is cool too, they have a Scream Factory release, Valentine. I always really liked this movie. This is like, it was like it came out in 2000, but it had that real like 90s slasher film feel to it. That one's at $18.99, but that's definitely really cool to see that in here. They also have like Ma, Halloween, Deep Blue Sea Double Collection, Critters Attack for only $8.99, which is a good price on that. I actually really like this one. I hope they keep making these new sequels to it, because I actually thought this was actually a cool sequel. Get Out, Crawl, Us, American Werewolf in London. They even have this 2-pack here of Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses here for $9.99. Brightburn, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Christine, 3 from Hell. So definitely a cool, Bloody Valentine, standee. And one thing here that I totally forgot to show that came out today was Boyz n the Hood, and they have the 4K edition here, and it's the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook of that one, and that one's $24.99 for that one. So anyway, though, guys, that's all for my brand new DVD Blu-ray Tuesday shopping video today. Like I always say, if you guys enjoy these shopping videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Also, be sure to check out the link below to find out more about the horror film Strix and all the different perks and all the kind of stuff, like the pre-order the signed Blu-ray copy, which I'll sign, and a bunch of other really cool new perks as well. But also, though, if you guys get to check out a restricted area, totally let me know what you guys think. If you guys do reviews and stuff like that, totally send me the reviews. Or if you, post pictures up on Instagram and all that kind of stuff, totally tag me in them. But I can't wait to hear what you guys think, and really glad, though, after going to all the Walmarts, I found one where I could show it in the store and everything. But really excited about it. It's a really, really cool film, so really happy to have it be out in stores and everything like that in Walmarts. But anyway, though, in the comments below too, let me know, what you guys picked up on DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K, if you guys, ended up picking up anything today. And thanks so much for watching and subscribing. Now stay tuned for the brand new reviews. And the first one I got here is from Arrow Video. It's a movie here called Deadly Manor. This is from director Jose Larraz, who directed also Deadly Axe, which Arrow Video just released recently on Blu-ray as well. If you guys have never seen that one, that one's definitely a must-watch. This one here is basically about a group of these friends, like they're driving in a car, and the other guy is following behind him with his girlfriend on this motorcycle, and they're kind of driving to this one destination. I can't remember exactly where they were going, but they were driving like kind of out in the middle of nowhere in this country road kind of area, and they end up seeing this guy, you know, there's this hitchhiker, and they end up picking him up. And basically, though, they end up wanting to go, and like the one who's driving is like, well, we should go and see like the wilderness and see the woods and all this kind of stuff. And so he ends up wanting to go drive like kind of into the woods and kind of going up this mountain in this kind of weird like middle of nowhere kind of area. And basically, though, they come across this mansion, this kind of dilapidated, looks to be abandoned mansion out in the middle of nowhere out there. And they're like, oh, well, this would be a great place to spend the night. And outside of the place, though, there's this car on this like big like concrete like slab in the backyard, and it's like this car is on top of this concrete slab, and it's like this car that's like destroyed. You can tell it was in some kind of an accident or something, and inside there's all these pictures of this one girl, and it's like basically seems like it's some kind of a shrine. And the one's girlfriend's like, she's like, I'm not staying here, I'm getting out of here, I'm gonna walk back to town and leave and everything. And you see right when she leaves, somebody like attacks her, so you know that this place that they think is abandoned, there's obviously somebody around or somebody coming after them. And inside the house, though, they find one of the bedrooms. There's like pictures of this girl who was, you know, in this car. The picture of her, you know, this girl whose picture was in the car, and like the shrine car. And they've come to realize, you know, something is going on here. Who is this girl? And little by little, weird things start to happen, and someone is coming after them in this house. It's actually a really, really cool slasher film. On here, it has a brand new 2K restoration for the original film elements. It has a brand new commentary track on here with Kat Ellinger and Sam Diham, as well as a brand new interview on here with actress Jennifer Dolera, as was a brand new filmed interview with the producer of the film, an archival interview with Jose Larraz, as well as the original Savage Lust of, you know, VHS trailer, as well as a image gallery. And also in here too, it has a booklet which has some pictures, you know, from the film and about the production and all that kind of stuff as well. But like I said, a pretty cool slasher film here. And if you, like I said, if you guys liked Edge of the Axe, which, like I said, Arrow Video recently released as well, definitely check this one out here. And the next one I got here is from Shout Factory Scream Factory line. It's the brand new collector's edition here of My Bloody Valentine here on Blu-ray. Now this is the original My Bloody Valentine, not the remake one. So I thought the remake was okay. I think that came out like 2009. It's one of those ones, I don't think I ever saw it again after I saw it in theaters though. But the original movie though, I've always really loved this one. And what's cool though is on here it has the brand new 4K scans. And it's a 2-disc set, and disc 1 has the original theatrical cut of the film, and then disc 2 has the uncut version of the film, and it's brand new 4K scan of that one as well. And Shout Factory did such a great job cleaning this one up here on Blu-ray. And it's basically, though, if you guys have never seen this one, it was about like a group of these miners who are all working in this mine together, and they're planning this big Valentine's Day party that they're going to have. And this mine, though, in the past has had like a bad history because there's something ended up happening, and someone ended up leaving for something, and people ended up dying down the mine, and only one person survived. And it's basically, though, the people who are in the mine are getting sent these like weird Valentines, and there's like this heart in a box, and all these kind of weird sorts of things are happening to some of them. And essentially, though, they're going to have this party, and, you know, somebody is coming and, you know, taking them off one by one, you know, at this party. And it's a really crazy, you know, slasher film here. And it's kind of like, you know, is it this miner who survived, you know, in the past? Is like he going and getting revenge? It's kind of like a mystery of who exactly it is and stuff. But it's actually a really, really cool movie, and I feel like it's one, like I said, you hear about the remake a little more than this one, and this is like such a great slasher movie. On here, though, it has a whole bunch of brand new interviews with the cast on this one. It has, like I said, the brand new 4K scans of the film, theatrical trailer, TV spots, radio spots, as well as a still gallery. But one you guys have definitely got to check out. Also in here, too, like I said, it's a 2-disc set in here, so it's disc 1 is the theatrical cut, and then disc 2 is the uncut version as well. The next one here is from Shout Factory as well, and this is a movie here which is kind of like in the style of something a little bit like the over-the-top craziness of like the Greasy Strangler a little bit, mixed with stuff like Napoleon Dynamite, mixed with all those kind of like combining like goofy, kind of over-the-top, and then like There's a movie called Shout Factory released a number of years back called Reality. It's kind of got like that kind of vibe as well. And it's a movie here called Greener Grass. And this is basically though like it's hard to explain, but it's like in this like weird reality where like all the adults have braces and like there's like and at the opening of this one, these two both these mothers who are friends are like watching this soccer game going on, and the one is holding her baby, and the other one's looking at her baby, going, "Oh, that's a very cute baby." And she's like, "Well, if you want it, you can have it. I don't need the baby anymore. You can have it. We've had it enough now. So you want me to have your baby? Yeah, certainly." And she gives the baby to the other mother, and then the other mother starts raising the baby, and it's like I said, it's all kind of crazy, like goofy, weird stuff going on. It's very hard to explain. There's like stuff with like her like thinking that the one kid turned into a dog, and all sorts of like crazy, wacky, over the top, like Greasy Strangler kind of like jokes, and those kind of jokes where they like go on a long time, and like really weird stuff. The one actor in here is Beck Bennett, who is on SNL. He's in this movie. I thought he did a really good job, but like I said, it's very hard to explain, but it's in that vibe of like, if you like stuff like Greasy Strangler, Napoleon Dynamite, and that kind of thing, it's that sort of vibe. On here, though, feature-wise, it has Greener Grass, the original short film, deleted scenes, as well as a theatrical trailer, and on this one as well. And the next one I got here is from Lionsgate. It's a movie here called The Great War, which stars Bates Wilder, Billy Zane, and Ron Perlman. Now, this one is set during like the final days of World War I, and it's following about a group of African-American soldiers, and they were called the Buffalo Soldiers. And basically, though, they were trapped behind enemy lines, and they were basically like even though the war was like done, the other side though was like kind of still carrying it on and trying to take out people and take out Americans and everything. And it's basically though about another troop of Americans who is going with basically one of the soldiers from the Buffalo Soldiers gets away and kind of tells the the other American soldiers about what's going on and everything. So he's sent, and he's one of the African American soldiers. He's sent along with another American soldier to go and try and get to these soldiers and try and rescue them. And it's kind of like the movie has like when I was reading about it too. They kind of has like some comparisons a little bit to like a Saving Private Ryan kind of vibe film, and it kind of has that similar kind of feel to what's going on. But it's basically though about them trying to get to them and like all the certain things that they're coming across, and kind of like all the prejudices and all these kind of horrible things that are going on then. But it's actually a really, really well done war film here. Like I said, this one here is called The Great War. The next one here is from Universal, and this is one I was really excited to see. Of course, this movie is up for Best Foreign Language Films at the Oscars, as well as Best Picture. It's a movie here called Parasite, and this is from the same director who made Snowpiercer, as well as The Host. I always have really liked his movies, and this is one of those movies too. The thing I like about it is, like the trailer, it really leaves everything so vague and doesn't really tell you too much about what's going on, and I like that. I went in this movie not knowing too much. I really didn't read too much about the plot or anything, so that's what I liked, was going into this not really knowing too much of what was happening, what was going to go on in the film. But without spoiling too much about this, it's basically though about this one guy whose friend is like he's like a tutor for this girl for this really rich family, and it's like this girl who's like, I think she's like supposed to be like 16 or 17, something like that, and getting ready to go away to college. And the one guy though, he's like getting ready, actually going away to college, so he's telling his friend like, oh well, I'm gonna leave, but I really like this girl, and I'm gonna ask her to marry me, when she gets to college, next year, and I want you to go in and be her tutor. And basically though, him and his family, the one who he wants to send in with it, have his friend go in and be the tutor, his family though are all living in this small house and all living together, and they all having terrible money struggles, struggling for money and everything, and they end up helping him forge this resume to make it look like he has all these like credentials for teaching and everything, and he pulls one over on this family, and they end up hiring him to be this girl's tutor. And then it's basically though, one by one, this family wants to try and, because this is a really rich family that the one is working for, they all want to find a way to get into this family and start getting their money and getting paid by them. So they want to like have the daughter come in and be like an art teacher for one of the other kids. They want to have the mother come in and be the the maid in the house, and then or the housekeeper in the house, and then they want to have the father come in and be the the driver for the husband, and it's basically like their ways of getting rid of them, like figuring ways to get them gone. But then there's like a lot of like crazy things that go on near the end of this movie, like some really unexpected stuff. This movie was great though. Like I can really see why it's gotten so much attention and why it's up for Best Foreign Language Film, especially up for Best Picture as well. And it's one that you guys have definitely got to check out. If you guys have seen it too, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this one. On here though, it has a Q&A with the director Bong Joon-ho on here. But like I said too, definitely check out the other director's other films too if you guys have never seen Snowpiercer or The Host. I think The Host was the first of the movies of his films that I saw. The next one here is from Universal as well. And this is a movie I honestly really like this movie. Like it was really memorable to me, and like it's one of those movies too that like you kind of think about it a lot when it's done, and like the concept of this one. And I like these kind of movies about like things like supernatural things going horrifically wrong, and people in like terrible situations like Truth or Dare, and some of these, I don't know, I like these kind of movies. It's a movie here called Countdown, and this is basically though about like this new app that's become popular where it's all the app does is it just brings up like years, days, hours, minutes until you die. So basically you download this app and all it does is it shows you, oh, in 20 years and 1 month and 3 days and 8 hours you're going to die. It doesn't say how you're going to die. It just says, you're going to die, and it's like, telling you when. And you find out early on in this movie that, that there's some truth to this. And basically, though, the one girl who was working at this, I think it was a hospital. I can't remember if it was a hospital or, I'm pretty sure I remember it was a hospital. But basically, where she works with all of her work associates and everything, they're all talking about this app. Oh, yeah, I downloaded this app, and I got, 50 more years or 70 more years or something like that. So she ends up going and downloading it. And, of course, she comes to find out that she's going to die in, like, a number of days. I think it's just, like, a couple days left that she has left to live, and she's like, oh, this is ridiculous, and they're all laughing, going, yeah, that's not true. But of course though, she starts having these weird things start to happen, and starts like feeling like this presence of someone coming after her, and then it's basically her trying to figure out exactly how to keep death from coming to her. And it's like kind of like Final Destination-y kind of vibes a little bit, like mixed with like The Grudge and The Ring and those kind of things all mixed together. It's basically her trying to figure out exactly how she's going to stop this, and she can get rid of the phone or what she can do. But like I said, this is actually a really fun movie. Another one. If you guys have seen this one, let me know what you guys thought of this one. Feature wise, though, this one doesn't have any features on here though. The next one here is from Warner Brothers. They sent over a free copy. This one, let you guys know this is available. This is one I give a top recommendation to, and I honestly went going to this one in the theaters. I didn't know what I was going to think because I'm such a huge fan of the original Shining movie. It's one of those movies that, like, I remember too, the first time I saw The Shining, how much it creeped me out. I think I saw it when I was like in maybe the 5th or 6th grade. I think that was around when I saw it. Like I rented either the VHS or the DVD or something, like maybe I think it was, no, there wouldn't have been, I think it was probably either on TV, on HBO, or something like that. But I just remember the first time I saw it, how much it creeped me out, like so bad. And and how much I absolutely love the movie, especially I love the music in that movie. And it was one of the first movies too I remember like really noticing like synth kind of music, like some weird kind of tone synth, and especially like the opening music to the movie, the original Shining. I feel like that's probably some of the coolest movie music ever. Like something about that, it's like creepy and really cool. And this movie here is, Stephen King's Dr. Sleep, the next, this is basically the sequel to The Shining. And this is directed by Mike Flanagan, who I've always really liked his stuff. And I found out later, too, which is so funny, I saw a post talking about how he worked at, the mall that I used to always go to when I lived in Maryland, and he worked in Suncoast. There was just a funny post that I saw, and I'm like, I probably was talking to him about movies and stuff because I was in Suncoast, growing up and everything as a kid and everything, and through middle school and high school and everything, I was in there all the time. So it's a cool, fun fact. It was like so cool that like I was probably talking to the director of this movie, years and years before this, back in like the early 2000s. So it was just a cool thing. But this here, stars Ewan McGregor here and Rebecca Ferguson, and this is basically though like it's about Danny Torrance's character, you know, who was the kid in The Shining. It's him years later, and if you, as you know, in the original Shining, he had this kind of gift where he could kind of telecommunicate with people. He could kind of sense things, and they didn't explore the gift too much, you know, in the original movie. You kind of knew certain things, but this is him years later struggling with, you know, what had happened to his father in the you know, the mansion, you know, in the hotel, Overlook Hotel, and he still has this gift, and he's starting to get these sort of messages on this blackboard where he's living from this girl, and she's kind of like telling him things. And it's basically, though, what's going on is there's a group of these like gypsies kind of like that are going around in these RVs, and they're basically like finding kids and taking their souls and like their life, and to, you know, to continue to stay young. These gypsies that are gypsy vampires, and that's what's going on. And Ewan McGregor's character, along with this girl who's like sensing this and can kind of communicate with them as well because she has the same gift, they're going to try and like find these people and stop them and trap them and everything. It's really, really good. Like, I honestly really got into this movie. On here, though, it has the so on here, this is the 4K one, as well as the Blu-ray and the digital copy. Now, on the 4K disc, it has the theatrical cut of the film. Now, on the Blu-ray, it has the director's cut of the film. But you guys can also watch, if you guys want to watch the director's cut in 4K, you can through streaming. So, and I put it on, looked at it through streaming, so you guys can watch the 4K version of the. If you guys want to see the 4K, the director's cut, you can see that, though, in streaming. But the 4K disc itself, though, has the theatrical cut. And the director's cut, though, is about, I think it's like 30 minutes longer on this one. But like I said, though, this is just such an absolute must-watch movie. I love this one so much. And I love, you know, and it still has like the same kind of music, and it has like you know, throwbacks to the original film's music. And like all around, though, this is an absolute must-watch. On here, feature-wise, though, this has some pretty cool featurettes. It has one where it's like showing, you know, building the Overlook Hotel again now, and kind of like how they were recreating it. And then there's also like a making of on here too, a little making of it, then talking to the director, talking with Stephen King about the movie and everything. But like I said, absolute must watch. 4K wise too, the movie looks great on 4K. It's a super atmospheric, you know, and it's also like really cool lighting and everything. And with the 4K, like I've said in the past, it's like kind of the big thing you notice with that is the HDR, which is the contrast levels, and it has much deeper darks to the colors and everything. Also, it's a much brighter picture all around. But if you guys have 4K capacities, would definitely recommend the 4K version of the film here. And the next one here is from Warner Brothers as well. They also sent over a free copy of this one to let you guys know that this one is available. And this is Swamp Thing, the complete series here. This is one that aired on the DC streaming service, and so I didn't get to see any episodes of this one, and had really wanted to watch this. I always have been a fan of the Swamp Thing character because as a kid, I always remember watching like the live action series as well as the animated series, and of course, you know, the Wes Craven's original film. And I also like Return to Swamp Thing. Like everything Swamp Thing, I always really liked that character. So it's cool to see too, because this is a much more like R-rated kind of take on Swamp Thing, and it's basically, though, it deals too with like essentially the story is like what's going on is there's some kind of like pollution stuff being like dumped into this swamp, which is causing people in this town to get like really sick and having like weird unexplainable sicknesses going on. So one woman, she's brought in to kind of look into this and try and figure out exactly what's going on, get to the bottom of it. When she's there, though, at the hospital, there's this other guy there who's asking all these questions and saying, well, I know this and I know what's going on, and you know, and basically, though, he's been there doing all the on the actual swamp, doing sort of like research and stuff, and he's starting to discover more and more of what's going on. And the one night, though, he's out there like looking into the swamp and like trying to investigate some more samples and stuff, and the other woman who's came into town to look into all this, she's there as well in the cabin. And basically, though, the guy ends up getting shot. You see somebody shoot him, and basically he falls in the swamp. And like the swamp, which is basically in the very beginning of the show too, in the first episode, you see like the swamp kind of coming alive with these tentacles and branches and all this kind of stuff attacking these people who are out there. So you know that the swamp is like alive. And the swamp, though, when the guy gets shot, swamp kind of like takes over him and starts like going into his body and stuff like that. The branches and all that kind of stuff. And basically, though, the guy turns into Swamp Thing. And it's essentially, though, you figure out, like, how he became Swamp Thing, and them Swamp Thing trying to figure out exactly what has happened to him, and more of the investigation and who is kind of behind all of this and dumping this stuff into to the swamp itself and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, really, really cool here, and it has on here the digital copy of the show as well. The next one here is from Paramount, and this is available for the first time on 4K, and it's in a steelbook. And this is the 10th anniversary edition here of the Martin Scorsese film starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Shutter Island. And this is a movie, I had not seen this movie since this came to theaters, and I really loved this movie when this one released. This is actually a really cool movie, and I always thought it was like a different kind of movie for Martin Scorsese, because it's much more of like a horror film, for the most part. It's it's a thriller as well, but it has like much more of a horror kind of vibe to this one, and I always liked this one. And it's basically, though, about Leonardo DiCaprio's character, and he was like a he was like a cop, like investigator, or U.S. Marshal, who was sent to basically somebody had escaped from this mental asylum, and he's there with his partner trying to look into what exactly had happened. His partner is played by Mark Ruffalo, and he's basically sent there to try and figure out how this patient had escaped, but like they don't understand how, because like the thing was closed, and and it doesn't seem like anyone could escape from this place, and they go there to investigate it. And when they get there, Ben Kingsley is the head of the mental hospital, and like they are asking questions, and they're kind of like turning it around on both of them and making it like Leonardo DiCaprio's character and Mark Ruffalo's character, like maybe there's something wrong with them, like the way they're kind of talking to them and everything. And basically too, they're like not letting them leave and being really vague with answers if they ask things, and then people are there like saying like, oh, there's all sorts of mysteries going on and you won't like what you find out and all this kind of stuff. And it's actually a really, really cool movie. Like I said, though, this is the first time this one, was on 4K, and it's here in the Steelbook. But 4K-wise, though, this one looks great on 4K. Definitely an upgrade here. On here, though, this has a behind-the-scenes featurette on this one. The next one here is from Paramount as well. This is a movie here which stars David Arquette, and it's called Mobtown. This is definitely a very different role for David Arquette. I've always been a fan, though, of David Arquette, like ever since, of course, Scream, and he was also in Ravenous. It's one of those other movies I always think of him from. But he's been lots and lots of stuff throughout the years. But like I said, this is like a different kind of role for him. And it's basically, though, his character, and this is set in 1957. This is basically about this thing that had happened where it was all these mafia leaders who were from across the country were all kind of coming together for this one meeting. And in the beginning of the film, though, David Arquette's character stops this criminal, and in his car and everything, and he ends up like basically, it's kind of like he starts to discover something about like this guy that he arrests, or is trying to arrest, and he finds out that he's in the mob, or he's like believing to think this. And it's basically, though, David Arquette's character finds out about things little by little, and he's starting to kind of look into this, and he's trying to basically wants to try and like stop the mob and try and like get to the bottom of all this. And of course, it's not going to be a good thing, though, of him kind of, especially if there's like a whole group with all these people kind of coming together. It's not going to be good if he's like the one doing this, and people are telling him not to do this or to watch who he's talking to. And because it's also one of those things too where like the police can sometimes have things to do with it, so he doesn't know who he can trust and stuff. But like I said, though, I thought this one was actually really, really well done, and really cool to see David Arquette in like a really different, like, serious role. And the next one here is from Paramount as well, and this is one I just want to let you guys know is available. And this is a really cool collection here of the Nickelodeon series Avatar: The Last Bender, and this is the complete series here on Blu-ray. This really cool collection here, which is a steelbook collection. I'll show you guys a closer look at the steelbooks, but this is a really, really cool release. And the way it comes out too is you guys can change out the images on here, which would be on the image in the front because of the steelbook. So you can switch the different characters. So it's really cool the way this is like this. And it also has a booklet in here. I'll show you that as well, but you can change it out. But like I said here, this is the complete series here on Blu-ray in the Steelbook set. So this is the book 1 here, which is called Water. And here's a look, though, inside here. And this is a 3-disc set here, Blu-ray for the first season here for Steelbook-wise. And then book 2 here is Earth. And here's a look here at this one. But this is a really cool release. I love the way this is designed as well. Look here, and then this is book 3 here, which is Fire. This is actually a really cool series. This one I've not seen that many episodes, but over the years, though, I have seen a couple of this one, and I reviewed the original Blu-ray of this. It came out a little while back, but it wasn't a steelbook release. And here's a closer look, though, at all 3 ones. Like I was saying too, on each of them though, it has these characters on the back, so you guys can switch out the characters if you want, which is cool the way it's designed. And inside too, it has a cool look in here too. It's like this silver kind of look inside. And then it also has this book here, which is an excerpt from the Avatar Last Airbender. It's called Koshi book here, and it has like some of the an excerpt inside of the actual book, and the whole book is available now as well. But like I said though, just wanted to show you guys a closer look at this set here, and this is a really, really cool steelbook release if you guys are a fan of Avatar The Last Airbender here. And the next ones I got here are both from 4 Digital Media. This one here is a movie called Invasion Planet Earth. It says right here on the front, World of Worlds meets Independence Day. And it definitely has that kind of vibe to this. And this is basically, though, about this guy who had just found out that his wife is pregnant. But, you know, right, you know, because he had some really bad news which was happening in the past with his past child. And it's basically, though, this is like really great news that his wife is pregnant, going after what they've gone through and everything. But at the same time, it's about an alien invasion, like this big ship, kind of like Independence Day, comes to Earth. And it's about him trying to figure out how he's going to, because the ship like launches these other ships that are coming after, you know, people and attacking them and stuff, and it's these crazy scenes of the ships and everything coming after people and the army trying to stop them and everything. It's basically though about him trying to figure out how he's going to save his wife and, you know, unborn child, and it's just basically all the stuff that he's going through and also dealing with the stuff in the past that he's had. But it's actually a really, really well done, ambitious film, you know, effects wise and stuff, because like there's these huge big scenes of attacks and stuff like that in here. But this is really, really well done here. Like I said, this one here is called Invasion Planet Earth. The next one here is from 4 Digital Media as well. So this is called The Hunt for Vlad the Impaler. And this says on here, Game of Thrones meets Vikings. And it definitely has that vibe to what's going on here. And this is about Vlad the Impaler, who was this like evil like ruler who was like the head of these people. And he was like doing all these horrific things. He was just like ruthless the way he was. And so it's basically though about a group of 7 fearless warriors who are going to hunt down and stop Vlad the Impaler. It's kind of like all the stuff they're going through, kind of going to come after him, and these huge battle scenes and stuff. And like I said, it's like really, this was also, cinematography-wise on this one, had really, really great cinematography. I thought this was actually really cool. If you guys are fans of Game of Thrones and stuff like that, and big like medieval battle films and stuff like that, definitely check this one out here. The next one here is from RLJ Films, and this is called, you know, also a Shudder original film. It's called Mon Monsters. This is actually a really, really fun film. This is basically though about a group of these kids who are all sent to community service because of something that they did. They have to like go to community service for the school. And like, and they kind of are all messing around. These guys are really screwing around. They're messing. It's like in an old folks retirement home where they're doing the community service, and they're messing with the guys there and like doing all kinds of ridiculous like bad stuff and everything. But they end up discovering though in the basement they see like these 2 girls that are like all messed up, and they're like acting really strange. You know, there's like something up with them. And basically though, one of the girls like runs away and gets away from these guys these kids that are messing around. But the other one, though, they end up capturing it and, you know, capturing her and like torturing her and messing around and tying her up and all these kind of bad things. And then they go back to school. And it's basically, though, about the one that got away coming after them to, you know, find where the one that they kidnapped is or took, you know, is, and go after him. It's basically like a super gory, over-the-top, crazy, crazy film. This is one you guys have definitely got to check out here. And if you guys have seen this one, too, let me know what you guys thought. But like I said, this one here is called Mon Monsters. The next one here is from Epic Pictures, from their Dread Presents line. It's a movie here called The Wave, which stars Justin Long. Also in here is Donald Faison, Sheila Vaughn. There's been a bunch of stuff is in this movie as well. I thought she did a really good job. Justin Long, too. I always been a fan of Justin Long, and I thought this was a cool, like, different kind of role for him. But this is basically, though, about his character. He goes to this party one night with Donald Faison. They're kind of like there, and he ends up wandering into this one room where there's like this weird guy in there, like with these girls, and he's like, "Oh, you try these drugs," and he gives him like this weird type of drug that he like puts on his tongue, and then right after he takes it, he ends up waking up, and it's like the next day, the whole the house where the party was is like vanished. There's nobody around, but he's in there still, and he's like trying to figure out exactly what happened, because he doesn't remember anything from the night before, and and he's basically having these weird things happen where there's like these big lapses of time, and like if he hits something, he ends up like teleporting to like weird places, and weird sorts of things are happening, and he's trying to figure out exactly where the girl from last night that he liked was. And it's basically though him for this day, and he's like has to go like his big job meeting, and like he's like all messed up, and he's like trying to figure out exactly what's going on, and he's having these weird side effects from the drug that won't stop, and so he has to try and track down and find that drug dealer guy. It's actually a really cool movie. This is one you guys have definitely got to check out, and this one you guys can get from Epic Pictures website. I have a link below for this one. On here though, this has a commentary track, gag reel, visual effects breakdown, red band, teaser trailer, as well as a theatrical trailer on this one. Next ones here are all from moviezing.com, and I have a link below where you guys can order these ones for the best price. This one is finally available on Blu-ray, and I always liked this movie. Out of all the American Pie ones that were direct-to-video, this one I always thought was my favorite one. I always considered my favorite of all those ones, because I think there was also like The Naked Mile, and then I think Book of Love was the last one that they made. I don't think there was any more. And this one here was American Pie Presents Band Camp, and this one I always thought could have actually been a theatrical release one when it came to all those ones. It kind of had like the vibe to like Van Wilder a little bit, like to this one. And it's basically about Stifler's brother going away to band camp, and kind of like he's like a counselor there, and it's kind of like all the crazy wackiness that goes on at band camp, because band camp was talked about so much in the first movie, and it kind of like you didn't really know much about it. And I think in the sequel they showed it. I don't know if they showed any of it in the original. I know the sequel they did show band camp, but this one focuses all on band camp, and it's kind of like sort of Revenge of the Nerds kind of stuff going on, vibe, and all the kind of wacky people at the band camp. It's a really, really fun movie. But on here though, it has the original features from the DVD. It has the outtakes, deleted scenes on here. It has music videos on here. But like I said, it also includes the unrated cut of the film as well. This one here is from moviezing.com as well, and I think these both are from Leomark Studios. This is a movie here called Homecoming. This one was basically about this one girl who ends up going back to her old house after her grandmother dies, and she goes back there to kind of like deal with things and put things together and all that kind of stuff. And you know that like some weird stuff had happened in the past, and like she left and has been gone a long time. But when she gets there though, she comes back together with her friends, and they're all kind of like that she hasn't seen in a really, really long time. They all kind of come together and go to the house, the grandmother's house, for like this party, and kind of like talking about the past and reminiscing and remembering things and all that kind of stuff. But of course though, weird sorts of things start to happen in this house, and it's kind of like essentially them trapped in there with all these weird sort of things happening. And it's actually a pretty cool movie. This one has on here though the special edition director's cut of the film as well, and it has on here bloopers as well as a behind the scenes featurette. This one is from moviezing.com as well. This is also, like I said, from Leomark Studios. This is a movie here called Primrose Lane, and this one was basically though about a group of these people, this couple who were going to this party. They got invited to this party from their one friend, and they get there to the house, and the house is unlocked, and like everyone's like vanished. Like there's nobody in there. They don't know where the friend is. Like the friends like invited them to go there, but they're like for some reason they're not there. They're like nowhere to be found whatsoever. So they go inside the house, and like this weird sort of stuff going on. Like you see like this ghostly kind of kid, and like these marbles rolling around. And you can tell it's like a kid who's like some kind of like from the past, from years and years past. And it's in this house. It's kind of like other dimensions and stuff like that are going on, and weird sort of things start to happen. They started talking to the police about where these people go. They were invited here. They can't figure out where they are. They've totally like mysteriously vanished. And it's all kind of like cuts back to things that have happened in the past, but yet at the same time they're kind of happening now because of this alternate reality dimension kind of thing going on. This is definitely a really interesting movie here. Like I said, this one here is called Primrose Lane. The next one here is from Wellgo USA. This is Takashi Miike's new film here called First Love. This has the DVD as well as the Blu-ray on this one. And this one I just finished watching. This was actually a cool movie. I've always loved his films. Of course, he directed Itchy the Killer, and as well as Audition. And this is basically though about like this one girl who's like a prostitute and this guy who is a boxer, and the girl who's a prostitute though lives with like this guy who's like this drug dealer, and like she has problems with drugs and all these kind of things, and it's basically though about this drug dealer who's trying to steal something from somebody, and like and then it's like this whole gang activity kind of thing going on about these group of these bad guys, and they want to have the one girl who lives there who's a prostitute, they want her to leave so she's not at the house when something happens. And like essentially though the boxer though, who you know is this boxer who's a real up and coming boxer, in the beginning of the movie though he has like something happen and he passes out and goes to the doctor and finds out that he has this tumor on his brain, so he's kind of in a bad way. And like he notices the one girl though who's trying to get away from this guy, she like runs off because she's like seeing weird things and seeing visions of somebody in the past and stuff. And so basically though she's running off away, and this guy, he ends up, the boxer knocks out this guy, and basically though he has to try and help this girl because like people are kind of trying to come after her and trying to find her, and these bad drug dealers and all these sort of things. So it's all sorts of crazy stuff going on this in the film. On here though, it also has the trailers. It also has the English language track as well on the film. And the next one I got here is from Synapse Films. This is a really fun film here called Hot Dog the Movie. This one includes the unrated producer's cut of the movie, which has never been released before on Blu-ray or anything. And Synapse did such a great job, cleaning up the picture on this movie. This is one of those movies I remember seeing years and years back. I think it might have played on like USA Up All Night, which I used to always like to watch like as a kid. Like I used to tape that and watch like all kinds of like, they played like a lot of comedies and like some horror I think, but a lot of comedies and like wacky over the top movies and stuff like that. And it was like who's the host of that one? It was Gilbert Gottfried was one of the hosts, and I don't know, I always remember that. And I'm pretty sure this was one of the movies that they played. I believe so. If not, I must have rented it or something like that. And this is basically though about this guy who ends up picking up this girl who's a hitchhiker, and he ends up finding his way though to this this ski competition that's going on in this mountain, and they made in the 80s a number of different like ski films, like Ski School, a couple other ones, but there was like a lot of stuff to do with ski movies, ski stuff going on in the mixed with like Revenge of the Nerds kind of movies and that kind of stuff. And this is what this movie kind of has, that sort of vibe to it a little bit. And it's basically though at this competition, the one guy though is like challenged by this other guy who's like the guy who's like set to be the big guy, and he has like a posse of all these friends and everything, and he's like set to be the winner. And it's just basically like this competition and all these competition things going on and all this wacky kind of over the top crazy stuff. It's a really fun movie. Like I said, Synapse did such a great job cleaning up this movie. It has a brand new 4K restoration, the producer's cut from the recently discovered 35mm camera negative. It has a Hot Dog the documentary, an all new 50-minute feature, and including interviews with the director as well as the co-producer, as well as some of the members of the cast. It has a commentary track on here with the writer and co-producer on this one, theatrical trailer, TV spots, radio spots, and as well as a music video on this one. So lots and lots of features on this one. The next one here is from Artsploitation Films. This is a movie, and it has like a comparisons to like stuff like Harmony Korine's films, and it's a movie here called We. And this is basically though about a group of these friends who are all kind of like doing these like crazy outlandish things, and it kind of cuts to like showing things from different characters' perspectives, and kind of shows different things from their perspectives. But it's basically about a group of these people, and they're all doing, like I said, these crazy things, and they're kind of like all hanging out around this like trailer out in the middle of the woods, and they're all like drinking and doing all kind of crazy things. And like it's basically though just going and like showing differences in perspectives of things, and like kind of their story, and kind of you find out more about each of the characters and stuff as it goes along. But it's actually, like I said, if you guys are a fan of like Harmony Korine's kind of movies, definitely check this one out. This one is definitely for adults though, so keep that in mind here, with the content and everything that goes on in this movie. It also has one I can't show. It has a reversible artwork on this one. The next one here is from Lightyear Releasing, and this is one I just want to let you guys know is available, and this is a documentary called 16 Bars. This is a documentary though about a musician who wants to do a rap album with people who are in like the music and into music in the prison. And there's I remember Empire too did like some episodes too with one of the characters was in prison, like recording music, and some rap artists have actually recorded music while they're in prison. But this is basically though about like this documentarian who's a musician doing a documentary on that and about recording this album with people who are in prison. And if you guys, like I said, just want to let you guys know that this one was available. And on here though, feature wise, it has 4 individual music videos from songs created inside the prison recording studio, as well as a full Q&A from the world premiere and a theatrical trailer on this one. The next ones here I want to let you guys know are available, and these ones are all from Eureka Entertainment. Now keep in mind these ones are all Region B locked, and this one here is Fistful of Dynamite, and this really cool hardbound set here from Sergio Leone. And this is, like I said, this is the collection here, and this is a special 2-disc edition. It has 2 versions of the film, and it has on here, including a transfer from the 4K restoration, and on here of the film. It also has on here original Italian audio available on the Italian version of the film, audio commentary on here by Alex Cox on the U.S. version, audio commentary by film historian Sir Christopher Frayling on the U.S. version, interview on here with Austin Fisher, author of Radical Frontiers and Spaghetti Westerns. Also on here, sorting out the versions, analysis on Duck Your Sucker. Once Upon a Time in Italy featurette, restoration on here about the restoration, location comparisons, radio spots. So lots and lots of stuff in here. And I'll show you guys though a look inside at the set. And there's also a booklet in here which has some stuff about the production. It has like lobby cards and all kind of different images and all kind of stuff about the film. But a really, really cool release here. So like I said, just want to let you guys know that this one was available. And here's a look too inside. Like I said, it's a 2-disc set here. The next one here is from Eureka Entertainment as well, and it's a movie here called Werewolf. And this one has on here the, let's see, feature-wise, this has optional English subtitles, theatrical trailer, a special collector's book with an essay by Anton Patel, and I'll show you guys a look inside. It has the Blu-ray as well as the DVD of the film, and then it has a booklet in here with some stills from the movie, the production, all that kind of stuff as well. And the last one from Eureka Entertainment, this one is called Durgalam, and it's this is from the Master of Cinema series. And this one has on here though presented in 4K from the digital restoration from the original film negatives. It has on here though, see some of the other features, option of 3 fantastic and unique scores by composer Stephen Horn, an acclaimed electronic music producer. On this one, it has a brand new and exclusive audio commentary by Scott Harrison. It has on here different cuts of the film. So it has the 60-minute US version of the film. It has on here, though, restoration comparisons on this one. I'll show you guys a look, too, inside. It has a booklet as well with some stuff about the production, some stills, and that kind of stuff as well. And the last one I got here is from Time Life, and this is one I just want to let you guys know is available. This is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 6-disc Blu-ray collection here called In Concert, and this has in here 3 different collections. And like I said, it's like 6 total discs in this one. The first one in here is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame In Concert, and this has, you know, performances from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Some of the performances on this one are Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, Cat Stevens, Cheap Trick, Deep Purple, ELO, Green Day, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Ringo Starr. The Encore collection has performances by ABBA, Alice Cooper, Beastie Boys, Donovan, Hart, Randy Newman, Rush, Tom Waits, and this is the 25th anniversary Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concert collection. This has some of the concerts on this one, or like Crosby, Stills and Nash, Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne, U2, Sting. So like I said, just want you guys know that this one's available. So if you guys are a fan of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and want a collection on Blu-ray, this one is all like the performances together in this really cool set here. But anyway though guys, that was all for the review portion of this video. Thanks again for watching and subscribing.